third, Jack Goff fourth, Colin Turkington seventh, and Tom Ingram further back on the grid, starting 14th, with work to do to try and get some points and see whether he can get ahead of Turkington, outscore him and narrow that gap in the championship, which now stands at 50 points. So Sam Tordoff starts on pole position with Tom Chilton alongside. Third on the grid is Ricky Collard, and Jack Goff lines up fourth ahead of Matt Simpson and Adam Morgan. Then it is Colin Turkington with Tom Oliphant for company, Dan Camish, and then that gap where Ash Sutton should have been next on the grid. Then it is Rory Butcher and Brett Smith with Aidan Moffat, Tom Ingram next on the grid. Dan Lloyd and Ollie Jackson are 15th and 16th ahead of Senna Proctor and Bobby Thompson. Then it's Ollie Pidgley, James Cole. Sam Smelt is next ahead of Josh Cahill. Then the other newcomer, Ethan Hamilton. Rob Austin in the wars in race one. He will start 24th. Andrew Jordan's a man to watch. So, as ever, will be Jason Plato. Fingers crossed that car is behaving itself. There's Stephen Jelly. There's Josh Cook coming up from the back of the grid. Matt Neal, who was in the wars in race one. Then you've got Mike Bushell and Chris Smiley. Bushell, third strike, back of the grid, contact on Rob Austin. Chris Smiley, third strike, back of the grid, contact on Josh Cook. And then Ash Sutton will start behind them, having left the pit lane. Ballast, top 10 across the line. So, of course, Mike Bushell will carry weight, even though he's at the back of the grid because he came across the line in 7th place. You've also got the option tyre, the hard tyre. More drivers carrying that into race 2 and more again into race 3.
Yes, but of the front 6 cars, it's only Tom Chilton that's got the hard tyre on. The driver's definitely reporting that is the slower cut tyre, so he's going to struggle, but it creates another opportunity again for Collard or for Matt Simpson or Jack Goff to do some damage at the front.
Not sure I like the word damage in this, but I know exactly what you mean. So there is the front row of the grid, the two Motorbase Fords. A little bit like David Bartram, who is an outlandish personality. He goes in for bright paint, doesn't he, in these two cars? So here they come, up towards the grid. Sunglasses on, Motorbase in town. To the front of the grid is Sam Tordoff and Tom Chilton. Ricky Collard, what a day, what a weekend he's had thus far. He starts third ahead of Jack Goff, who may be out of the hunt mathematically, but he still wants race wins. He's still capable of race wins. Matt Simpson is after another podium, and Adam Morgan, who's had a good, solid season, those 3 wins, and they're the Mercedes up near the front. And Sicily Motorsport making the point that it's not actually a very good circuit for the Mercedes Silverstone because it's not really a very aerodynamic car.
No, it's a hatchback and they're not quick, but he's got a good opportunity. I'm surprised that BMR team didn't send the Subaru of Ash Sutton out, even with a hole in the floor, because it would have been better to have started 10th than have started at the back, and they could have changed it after the race. But clearly the damage was a bit more than perhaps Warren Scott alluded to.
And he's coming back into the pit lane. Ash Sutton is back into the pit road. So maybe things are still not right, unless this is a very clever idea, start from the pits and get behind any accidents at the first corner, but I suspect it's more of a problem.
Ash isn't like that, is he? He gets stuck in.
No, he does, elbows out. So the problem, we fear, persists then as the cars now make their way to the grid, and we are ready. There's a nervous Rob Collard looking on. There'll be a nervous Ricky Collard on the grid. Ash Sutton is back with the team. Chris Smiley, therefore, is going to be the man at the rear of the grid, and we are good to go racing. Round 26 at Silverstone. The lights go red. Who is going to make the best start? All eyes on Ricky Collard, but again, he boxed down a little. The Fords get away nicely. Here comes Turkington. He's ahead of Morgan already on the run down towards Cox. Sam Tordoff with all the weight leads the way ahead of Chilton. Then it's Collard. The Hondas are side by side for fourth. Goff on the inside of Simpson. Morgan a little bit wide in the background. Very wide Rory Butcher, and the cars head up towards Beckett's for the first time. This is Turkington's view, and he's in the mix. Yeah,
he's making great starts, isn't he? Not quite such a good start for Collard, but despite the family name being the same as the best starter in the business, Father Rob, but nevertheless a good start for Ricky.
So if you take Rob's starts and Ricky's qualifying, you've got the ideal. Down they come. Nose to tail for the race lead. Chilton on the back of Tordoff in the lighter Ford. Goff on the outside of Simpson. They're side by side for fourth. Turkington is up the inside of Adam Morgan, trying to gain place. He's trying to keep out of trouble. Jack Goff to the curb on the inside of Matt Simpson. They wriggle their way through Luffield. All is good thus far. What progress is Ingram making? He's on the move. He's on the back of Brett Smith, but he's still behind Turkington, which is not where he has to be. Over the line, 1 lap in the book. Tordoff leads by 0.368 of a second. Turkington is 7th and Ingram is 12th.
But remember, Turkington's on that harder tyre. That isn't the preferred tyre, particularly on the BMW. It takes a little bit longer to warm its tyres up, and he isn't as quick. And as Morgan is making the progress round the outside of Goff on the grass and gets across his nose on the brakes and gets the car stopped.
Adam Morgan, with rallying in his background, used it to good effect there to save that. Job well done. We're running down the Wellington straight then now, on board with Turkington, but Tordoff leading the way. And who is going to be the next one to try to dart up the inside and gain a place? Adam Morgan then on his toes, but look at the way that Chilton now is crawling all over the back of Tordoff. Sam may have held him off at the end of race 1, but now on lap 2 of 22 in this second race of the day, gloves off. Ingram is up the inside there trying to get past Smith, so Tom Ingram is working his way forward. And Aidan Moffat now comes up to have a go at the Honda as well. Dan Lloyd goes through, another driver like Ingram who's got rid of that harder tyre. Aidan Moffat the same. He was on the hards in race 1. He's going nicely now in race 2.
Yeah, I think that Morgan's really pushing hard. He actually had dropped behind Turkington. Remember, Turkington got that great start, but he's pushed on past him and Goff up to 5th place. So he's really pushing hard. But Ingram's trying to fight his way through, dealing with Camish on the inside and Oliphant. Is he going to get 2 in 1? Looks like he will.
Nicely done up the inside of Camish. Gets past Oliphant coming out of the corner. 2 paces gain then for Tom Ingram, working his way forward nicely. Will not be long before he's up with Turkington at this rate, because it's the car ahead, look, as they come down towards Brooklands. So now, no weight and the better tyre, it transforms the car.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it? I mean, up front, you've got Tordoff with 11 kilos more than Chilton, but Chilton on the hard tyre. So a little bit of an interesting dynamic there. I actually would have thought that Tordoff would have the legs on Chilton, because 11 kilos isn't that much, but the hard tyres are big disadvantage.
So another lap in the book, 3 down. And into Cops Corner now. Chilton defending from Collard, but look at the line stacked up behind him. There is Moffat going through on the inside of Camish. Brett Smith and then Dan Lloyd next in the queue. Lloyd in the BTC Norlin Honda around the outside of the Eurotech car on the tail of the Team Dynamics Honda. And they power their way up towards Beckett, with Adam Morgan now having done the fastest lap of the race. Ingram is 8th, and he is now 3/10 behind Turkington. No, he's not. He's alongside him, coming out of Beckett, down towards Brooklands. Look for the BMW, look for the Toyota. Is it going to be Ingram ahead? He's on the outside line. Turkington is on the inside. Here comes Ingram, round the outside. This is going to be crucial. He will be ahead and he will start to outscore Turkington. That is what he needs to do.
Yeah, well, Turkington's not silly. He just knows he's going to get a little bit quicker. He just needs to stay close to him. He's got 50-point lead. It doesn't matter at this stage.
So Ingram now trying to fight forward. Morgan up the inside of Collard. Here they come over the timing line. This now is the fight for 3rd place. Adam Morgan to the inside line. He's going for a podium. He goes through on the inside. Here comes Simpson as well. The Honda tries to dive bomb the BMW. The 2 Fords are getting away up front. Look at Ingram now making another attack. Simpson defends. He's alongside Goff. Cars ahead, cars to the left, cars to the right, diving into Beckett's now, and Ingram up the inside of Collard goes for another spot.
Yeah, watch how Ingram pulls the car to the inside. He just turns that car so tightly. It's absolutely incredible how he can do that. We saw it at Rockingham, didn't we, how he can turn inside other cars when the car was free of ballast. And that's the crucial point.
So he's ahead of Simpson, which means he's up into 4th place now, coming down through Brooklands. Could Ingram win this race, ballast free, given the pace that he's got?
Not beyond the bounds of possibility.
And if he does, and if Turkington's tyres go off and he drops down the field, it's going to be a very interesting situation post-race.
Yeah, I don't think the tyres go off as so much as just don't have the pace and how many people can get past. But there are more cars in this race on harder tyres, a few behind him, Camish, Butcher, etc. But it's still going to, as long as Colin gets some points out of this race, I think he'll be happy, because then he'll go into the last race almost ballast-free and back on the prime tyre.
Indeed so. Saw the way Aidan Moffat dropped back in that first race on the hards, and he in this race is in the top 10. Now there is Ash Sutton. He is in the race, but he's a long way adrift, and this really becomes a test session in a sense, because unless we get a safety car to bunch them up, he's going to struggle to catch the traffic.
Yeah, he hasn't gone a lap down, but he's a long way behind, 24 seconds behind.
Here are the leaders. Now look at Ingram, he's on the back of Morgan. Morgan is chasing after Chilton, who's dropped back a little bit from Tordoff. Tordoff with the weight, managing this very well.
Yeah, he is, but as I said, there's only a few kilos, only 11 kilos between him and Chilton. The car that's very quick, obviously, is Ingram's car, because he's 75 kilos lighter than Tordoff.
And has just done the fastest lap of the race. It was Matt Neals, who's also ballast-free, but Ingram has now done the fastest lap of 59.057. Here he comes alongside Morgan. No, not quite out of Copse Corner. Morgan comes up to attack Chilton.
But watch him come out. Look, he set the car up to cut inside, takes a wide line in, times the run on the inside coming out. Could be 3 abreast here, and once again, he will probably get 2 cars in one. That's his first place, and he will just roll off the brakes into Brooklands and go around the outside.
3 wide on Wellington Straight. Ingram was 4th, he's 3rd, he's 2nd. Tom Ingram up into 2nd place. Chilton tries to fight back, there's contact. Ingram hangs on to it. Chilton's going to be in the back of him, oh so close here, coming up to Luffield. Morgan fights back. Morgan up the curve on the inside line, and Chilton goes from 2nd to 4th in 2 corners.
Great move by Morgan. That was really good. Opportunist move. These are the 2 best places to overtake. Beckett's and Luffield, and Morgan was on that very quickly when he saw Ingram coming through.
That's James Cole, damage in race 1, and he's had dramas up at the same place, up at Luffield in race 2, but he's still going.
Yep. This is on board with Stephen Jelly. Plato in front. There's the instant with Cole getting turned around in front. Nothing he could do about that. Jelly trying to get the place off. And he doesn't get it.
As he goes to the inside at Woodcote, to no avail. Right, more shuffling of the order because Moffat's now coming up to have a go at Turkington. This is Matt Neal's view. Andrew Jordan is pushing ahead. That is Ollie Jackson's Audi that goes a place down. Here comes Matt Neal, 19th at the start of the lap, round the outside of Ollie Jackson. There's a bit of a rub between them. Oh, no, you don't, says Ollie. And he tries to elbow his way back up the inside. Matt Neal off the road into the side of Jackson, who's sideways. Matt's coming through.
Yep, he's been watching the Steve Soper video, hasn't he?
So have a lot of them, I think. Now he's on the outside line against Josh Cook. Here are the leaders. Tordoff to Ingram, 8/10s, another fastest lap of the race for Ingram. 75 kilos versus no weight at all. Morgan is 3rd, then it's Chilton, Simpson, Collard. Turkington is still 8th, despite the efforts of Moffat, who is here, right on his tail. Moffat flashing the lights, trying to find a way by. Turkington's not going to crack under pressure. Moffat almost arrives at the back of the car. Turkington goes wide. Was that an assist?
That was definitely an assist, but you know, Turkington had no option but to open the steering and go wide round the corner. But never mind that, Ingram's making hay while the sun shines and piling onto the pressure to the back of Tordoff.
OK, so Moffat has gone past, but so has Camish, and Lloyd tries to get through. So one moment like that suddenly pushes Turkington down the order as Ingram starts to get himself into a race lead challenging position, and this should turn out to be a win, barring dramas. Now let's look at Moffat on Turkington.
Moffat into the back there. Turkington runs wide, and through goes Moffat and Camish in one go.
And Lloyd also managed to do it before the end of the lap. Here are the race leaders. We're on lap turn of 22. Tordoff just ahead of Ingram, who does his usual wide-in, tight-out approach. This is the lap on which he should be able to slingshot up the inside. Tordoff goes wide. Here comes Ingram. Does he get the drive off the corner? He should do. He'll be on the outside line for Brooklands. Side by side for the race lead. Round 26 of the championship. Ingram gets his nose in front as they dive down towards Brooklands. Has he done it? He's on the outside line. Tom Ingram goes round the outside of Tordoff. He gives him racing room. He's got the inside line for Luffield. Ingram leads.
Yeah, well, he's making this championship go as far as he possibly can. You can't do any better than drive to the front of the field, as we've seen Tom do so many times this year.
14th he started, he now leads the race. Ash Sutton won the Dunlop Forever Forward Award in race 1, 14 places gained. Anything he can do, so can Ingram. So he now leads at the end of 10 laps. This is Matt Neal's view. He is now 18th on the back of Rory Butcher.
And then, well, Matt Neal starting the back. Butcher gets a big slide on there, controls it, and this will be an easy place game for Matt Neal. Remember, he and Andy Jordan both started at the back, didn't they?
That's right. And what progress has Jordan made? He's 15th, just further up the road against Matt Neal. Both of them racing in historics at Goodwood a week ago, as was Sam Tordoff. But now it's Tom Ingram in the lead of the race. So he has caught and passed. Now, what about Adam Morgan? Can he get onto terms with Tordoff and find a way past him? At the moment, he has got 1.4 seconds to make up before he's even on the back of the pink Ford Focus.
Yeah, although Morgan's got 33 kilos on, so he has got some weight.
So there is the leading Toyota over the line. Will come Tom Ingram. This will now put 11 laps in the book. He's done the fastest lap of the race. Tordoff is second, and he's 1.2 seconds clear of Morgan. Collard now is fourth, but only just because he and Chilton were side by side over the line. Here comes Goff up the inside of Chilton. Elbows out. Jack Goff goes through. Chilton is wide. That's going to give Simpson a chance to challenge, and Moffat and Lloyd. And look in the next little group, Turkington is under attack from Oliphant for what is now 11th place. He's dropping. And that's Lloyd in strife. He's in the gravel as well. So Dan Lloyd off the road at Beckett's through the gravel. He will fall back behind Turkington. So Colin Turkington will gain a place. I'm focusing on him because of the championship. But Dan Lloyd off the road and back on again.
Yeah, some warning flags probably for track limits. Dan Camish, number 27, he's got a driver warning flag, black and white flag. So I'm assuming that's for track limits, or it could, that's the man we're looking at, Camish there, or it could be for unsportsmanlike driving, I guess.
There is Matt Simpson over the line. So, in all of that drama up at Beckett's, with Dan Lloyd going off the road, we've now got Goff 5th, 6th is Simpson, 7th is Moffat, Chilton's down to 8th, Camish 9th, up to 10th is Turkington ahead of Austin, Oliphant, Proctor, Jordan, Cook, and Dan Lloyd is down in 24th.
Yeah, Turkington fighting back on Camish now as Camish rang out wide, giving Turkington the inside. Oh, locking up on the rear brakes was Austin then, or did he have Oliphant or someone just in the back? Maybe, but getting sideways and well held by Rob.
I think if there was contact, I had visions of race 1 repeated there. Poor old Rob in the wars. Look, he's still rubbing with Oliphant as they come down Wellington Straight. There is Moffat up the inside of Simpson, both ex-Oval racers. Austin to the inside of Tom Oliphant. The Alfa Romeo fends off the Mercedes for the moment. So Turkington has gained a place back with Lloyd off the road, and he's gained another one by going ahead of Camish.
Yeah. There's Jordan and Neil running together. Their fight through the grid. The better cars at this point in the race, the cars that are better on their tyres, will have an advantage at the end of the race.
So the leading gap, Ingram to Tordoff, is 1.6 seconds. And there, look, Adam Morgan is right on the tail of the Ford.
Yeah, trying to do what Tom Ingram does, go in wide, force the other cars to defend and just get the run and the power down earlier. Morgan's car not quite as good as Ingram's though, so he's going to have to do it on the brakes into Brooklands.
Down they come. Morgan in the wheel tracks. Is he going to be able to dive to the inside or the outside? Let's see. There's a gap on the outside. But Sam Tordoff knows how to defend in the touring car. Runner-up in the championship 2 seasons back. Morgan up the curb on the inside line as they come through Brooklands. Now to Luffield. Is there an advantage to be gained on the inside? Yes, there is. Is there a Mercedes-shaped hole? Just about. Side by side they come off the corner. Morgan's got the inside line for Woodcote. He's got a lighter car. He's up the curb and he's got the place, has he?
Yes, he has. I mean, at Luffield, the quickest line is actually to clip the first apex, go half a car wide, and then clip the second apex coming out. But of course, the moment you put half a car wide of the curb on the inside, it's filled by a BTCC car with half a car on the track and half on the grass. But it's a good way of passing. So you absolutely have to hug the... Oh, Jelly off, and that's at Cox.
Big slide, big spin. Stephen Jelly off the road into the gravel. Is that going to be a safety car, or can that be covered with localised yellow flags? We will see. Now Turkington is fighting back. He's back up into 8th. He was 11th a couple of laps ago, but now he's got himself back into 8th. Yes, he's being outscored by Ingram, but this result could have been a whole lot worse, as now Camish comes to the inside of Oliphant. Carrera Cup GB revisited between these two. Oliphant on the outside of the Honda there, look as they dive their way out of Brooklands.
Well, they were together in qualifying, they were together in the first race, and now they're together in the second.
And ahead of all of this is Turkington, so if this looks a bit leery, doesn't matter to him, he's away and gone.
Senna Proctor's up the inside of Camish now, because Camish went to the outside at Luffield, and that could let his teammate through as well. Cook can try and get through. Yellow flag's out for Jelly's car in the gravel. Not a safety car, just a local yellow.
And that waved yellow flag means no overtaking, so everybody has to bail out of that move, and now they can carry on at the next green flag. And that Stephen Jelly out of the car. Now, whether he fell or whether he was pushed, we will try to find out. But sadly, yet again, the luckless Stephen Jelley is out of the race.
Poor guy has no luck at all, does he, poor old Stephen?
He's got a lot of bad luck. He's not much good luck, to be fair, but I know what you mean. And there the car is well and truly beached. And poor old Team Parker Racing, Stuart Parker's squad. Now, this is what happened.
Oh,
Brett Smith was behind.
Yeah. Brett Smith was very close behind, I would say. Yeah, look, Brett's looking down the inside. He's made a genuine lunge for it, but it's not close enough to get through.
Stephen Jelley, yet again, is the one that comes off worst. Into the gravel, out of the race. So yellow flags in sector 1. The lifting gear is attached to the top of the car. Tom Ingram thinking, don't throw a safety car, don't throw a safety car. He leads the way. Morgan is second, then it's Tordoff, Collard, Goff, and here's this next great scrap coming out of Cops Corner. This is Proctor et al, really from 10th back. Up the inside goes Camish against Cook. Oliphant tickles the rear of the Ford there, just up the road ahead of him of Chilton.
It's a great battle. Look, Matt Neal's actually caught onto the back of this as well. He's behind his teammate Camish now.
And you've also got, just outside the points in 16th, Jason Plato, who's raced his way up the order. Now, down towards Brooklands comes Matt Neal. Cook gets towards the rear of Camish and then finds a gap alongside, but it's on the outside line. Here comes Matt Neal up the inside. He was fairly brutal there earlier on, and he's gained a place from Cook now. And there is Plato. He's in that battle.
Yeah, and Camish will let Neal go through, and he needs to try and let him through because Neal's on the prime tyre, Camish is on the option hard tyre, which is slower. He needs to try and let Neal through without letting anyone else through, though, because he could open the doors and let all of them through.
And going into a yellow flag zone as well, so not easy to orchestrate there. And it's still Camish ahead. He is trying to defend for all he's worth. But up towards Beckett's, they come now. So Chilton, then Oliphant, then it's Camish. Next up is Cook, and Matt Neal trying to find a way past that Vauxhall Astra once again. Rob Austin in 9th place. Good to see the Giulietta going nicely.
Yeah, been quick all weekend from the moment it hit the track, really. So this is on board with Neal. He came out with behind Camish, but he's got Cook around somewhere. We're approaching the yellow flag zone. Cook will argue he was in front. And that will be for the clerk of the course to decide. Was he in front or was it an overtake?
So Josh Cook on the outside, had his nose in front, not the whole car you could argue, but argue they will post-race. In the meantime, we are on lap 19 out of 22. This race has flown by, and Ingram is leading by 4 seconds. The better tyre, no weight, it all helps in what we know is a very quick car anyway, built by the Northwich-based Speedworks Motorsport concern. And Tom Ingram then will narrow that gap in the championship. But let's see what it's going to be at the end of the 3rd race and how close to Turkington he can be going to Brands Hatch. Turkington is 8th at the moment.
Ingram took the hard tyre in race 1 with him, so he's already got that out of the way. Yeah. So he will have the prime tyre for race 3, but he'll have the 75 kilos. Turkington has now got the hard tyre out of the way this time. He'll go into the last race on the prime tyre with very little weight. So it'll be a case of how much progress can he make and how high can Ingram finish with all the weight on.
Well, look at the way that Tordoff has been going with all the weight in this race. He's still running in the top 3.
Yeah, true.
It's interesting, isn't it? So coming over the timing line will be Ingram with a 4-second advantage over Adam Morgan now at the end of 19 laps. Tordoff 3rd ahead of Collard, Goff, Simpson, Moffat, Turkington 8th, Austin, Proctor, then it's Oliphant, Chilton, Camish, Cook and Neal, with Jason Plato in 16th, Butcher is 17th, Smiley and Lloyd are 18th and 19th, and Brett Smith is in 20th place. At least he was coming over the timing line, but he's now rather busy battling with Ethan Hamilton, the former junior saloon car champion turned Volkswagen Cup racer. There is Camish having dropped back now behind Cook.
Now he needs to let Matt Neal go through on the outside, which is the best place to pass her without him losing positions. I'm sure he will. Yeah. And then he's got Plato behind him.
So here comes Jason Plato, sideways into Brooklands. Director of the British Racing Drivers Club, and he gets all sideways in front of the BRDC clubhouse there, but he's lost a place to Butcher. He's fending off BTC Norlin Hondas and powers his way now up towards Woodcote, but he's dropped back in the pack.
Yeah, the BMR boys had a lot of work to do. Jason's car, remember, the bonnet flew up. Look, he's got a new front bumper. There was a lot of work to do on that car. Ash Sutton's car as well had work on it, so yeah, they had a lot to do.
It was here 12 months ago, wasn't it, in the last race that we lost Jason early on, and he was found with a pint in his hand watching as the battles unfolded. Well, here he wants to be in the battles. Josh Cook is battling with Chilton, and Cook goes through on the inside into Beckett. So another good pass that puts Josh Cook up into 12th. Remember, he was in the gravel in the first race. He's come up from 28th on the grid.
Yeah, great drive through, and but remember, Chilton is on that hard tyre. It's really hurting the cars. Chilton and Cammish in this battle of one's really struggling.
Turkington on the hard tyre, still up the road in 8th place. Interesting to see the way it works on different cars, how it hurts different cars and different drivers. The leader has gone across the line now onto his last lap. Tom Ingram it is. He started 14th. He's heading for a third win of the season, seemingly, as he's wide out of Cops Corner there, but accelerates up towards Maggots. The 25 points for the win, plus the point for leading a lap, plus the point for the fastest lap, will all help.
Yeah, he didn't need to be pushing quite that hard through Cops, though, did he?
This is Tom Ingram.
Yeah, it gave the family in the garage a little bit of a nervous moment as they saw the car bouncing wide, teetering on the edge of adhesion there. But I think Tom's enjoying himself, isn't he?
Yes, because it's a rare chance to drive the car without the weight. Bounces over the curb, through Brooklands, and so Tom Ingram, up from 14th on the grid, is heading for victory here at Silverstone. He comes out of Luffield, up towards the timing line, up towards the checkered flag, up towards a win, and to narrow that gap to championship leader Colin Turkington, Tom Ingram wins round 26 of the championship. He comes across the line to the delight of the family, to the delight of Speedworks in the garage. Morgan is second. Now, what about third? Tordoff and Collard were together as they came across the line, but Sam Tordoff hung on by 98 thousandths of a second. Tordoff third ahead of Collard, Matt Simpson fifth from Goff, Moffat. Turkington is eighth ahead of Austin, and then Proctor to round out the top 10. There was another virtual dead heat there between Cammish and Butcher going over the line. They were 74 thousandths apart.
Well, Turkington came home in eighth. The highest of all the cars on the hard tyre, significantly. Next up was Chilton, who, remember, started on the front with the hard tyre. So I think that's a good damage limitation exercise for Turkington. He'll be pleased with that. Starting eighth going into the last race with the prime tyre and virtually no weight will be a great position to be in.
So Tom Ingram winning. See him taking the unorthodox line now to get the pickup. I hate to use these words, ride and height again, but you know what happened at Knockhill. It affected him as much as Ash Sutton, who'd crossed the line ahead of him. And Speedworks, after that outpouring of emotion as he crossed the line, do not want to see another win go begging in the scrutineering bay. So everything is crossed. You see the pickup, everyone trying to go and get the marbles on the tyres just to lift the car that extra millimetre or two. But a great drive by Ingram, and some other excellent drives all the way up and down the field, really. Matt Simpson running nicely up near the front, and Ash Sutton, after the pit lane start, 27th in a car that clearly was not 100%.
No, it didn't. Another bit of bad luck. You know, he lost a win at Knockhill, as again with the ride height thing. Interested in talking about that. The reason that he failed the ride height on the right-hand side sill was because the damage was self-inflicted. He'd been off the track and hit the curb himself. Right. If it had been via an accident with another car, he'd have been given some grace. Right. But because it was self-inflicted, he didn't. But of course, that cost him a victory, cost him the next race. He's now been cost this race and the next race. That's 4 races. You know, out of 6 that are going to be compromised at a crucial point in the championship. And
it's why we go on and on about the consistency that you need. And Colin Turkington has still only had 1 win. Yeah. But he just banks points. Bank, bank, bank. If he can't win, he'll salvage what he can. And there he is, still with the championship lead. Yes, it has narrowed, but he's still there with now 4 races still to run. But well done, Tom Ingram. He's narrowed that gap, and let's see what happens come the end of the day. Great reception for the drivers as they come down the pit lane. Round 26 of the British Touring Car Championship falls to Tom Ingram. Adam Morgan home second ahead of Sam Tordoff, with Ricky Collard fourth from Matt Simpson and then Jack Goff. Aidan Moffat 7th ahead of Colin Turkington. Rob Austin 9th, and the top 10 completed by Senna Proctor. Tom Oliphant 11th. Josh Cook, great drive that, to 12th, up from 28th on the grid from Tom Chilton and Matt Neal, who in the end got ahead of Dan Cammish. Rory Butcher out of the points, but ahead of Jason Plato, Chris Smiley, Dan Lloyd and Ethan Hamilton. First weekend of the championship in 20th. 21st to Brett Smith. Andrew Jordan didn't make the progress one might have anticipated. Perhaps the problems persist ahead of Ollie Pidgley. Mike Bushell was 24th ahead of Ollie Jackson, and then Sam Smelt with Ash Sutton 27th. James Cole also was struggling early on. We lost Josh Cagill. Stephen Jelly was in the gravel, and Bobby Thompson also was in trouble in the Volkswagen. So what does this do to the championship? 36 points, so it's less than it was at the start of the day. Colin Turkington is still ahead of Tom Ingram. Adam Morgan is up to third, ahead of Tom Chilton. Ash Sutton fifth, Jack Goff sixth, and Andrew Jordan, who was fourth at the start of the day, is down to seventh, ahead of Josh Cook, Sam Tordoff and Matt Neal. How quickly things change in the British Touring Car Championship. So Tom Ingram will go through the technical checks post-race, and the fact that he's got to this stage suggests that all has been good with the ride height. He's been allowed through the first element, and hopefully now we'll be able to get out of the car and start the celebrations. The door opens, and Tingram clambers out of the car. Yes, he says, I've done it. That was an important race win. Tom Ingram comes home as the race winner at Silverstone in the end by over 6 seconds from Adam Morgan.
Yeah, he didn't want to just win it, he wanted to crush him, didn't he, judging by his pace on that last lap. He did a 58.8 on the last lap. That was a very quick lap.
So Tom goes over to embrace Chris Hansford, his sponsor, and then Mum and Dad are there. Dad Bruce with the cap on.
In fact, that last lap was quicker than